Hi and welcome back. So, welcome to How to Be a Great Teacher, and this is video number 3, which is all about our comfort zones. Now, understanding our comfort zone and why we do it is really important to understanding what you need to do to grow. You see, most of us spend a lot of our lives getting to a point where we are comfortable. So, if you think of our environment, we kind of do it in a way that we set it up so that we're comfortable in it, so we don't get unexpected surprises. The problem with getting too comfortable is that you can't grow from a place of comfort. You need to be pushing yourself, you need to be expanding in order to grow. So imagine having a plant and you've put it in a pot plant, and so it's got the little pot around it, and as it's growing, it gets to a point where it's nice and comfortable, but then it gets to a point of its growth where it just exceeds the boundaries of what that pot is, and you need to take it out and allow it to grow. What happens with teachers sometimes is that they kind of want to stay cramped in that pot and they stop themselves from growing because otherwise it gets uncomfortable, it gets unfamiliar. So the first thing I wanted to mention that with regard to your comfort zone, it's uncomfortable to grow. You know, for children, we even say that they have growing pains, like that there's some discomfort that comes from growing. And the thing that I'd really like to make you aware of is that when you feel uncomfortable, that's not necessarily an indication that you need to go and hide or they need to stop. That's probably the indication to tell you that you're actually about to grow. So what's really important is that when you feel the discomfort of doing something different, when someone says, hey, why don't you try this, and you feel, it's uncomfortable, it's unfamiliar, that's where you've got to push through, because that perhaps is the opportunity that you grow and become a better version of yourself and you become the great teacher that I know that you want to become.
Mr. Aaron to the office, please. Mr. Aaron.
Sorry about the bill there. So, imagine this, right? Imagine that you're stuck, that you've got an elastic wrapped around your waist, and the elastic is tied to a stake in the ground, and around you there's this large circle. And providing that you're walking within that circle, it's all nice and comfortable. You don't feel any resistance whatsoever from the elastic that's tied to your waist. But the moment you get to the edge of the circle, what's going to happen is that you start to feel the resistance as the elastic starts to take up slack, and all of a sudden you feel something pulling you back. The first response that most people will have is that the moment they feel any resistance, they go, oh, I don't like that feeling, so they go way back into their circle. But what if, in order for you to be a great teacher, you need to push that boundary and you need to move outside of what's comfortable and you need to get outside the circle? Well, what's going to happen is that the moment that you step over that circle, this elastic is bringing a whole stack of tension. And it's almost like you know that if you keep pushing through, you're going to break free of this elastic and you'll get to the other side and you'll be able to see the world in a bigger way. But what also happens is that if you get any type of elastic, if you stretch it enough, normally it loses that elasticity and you've got more to play with. So, you know, my daughter's hair elastics, they kind of get to a point where they're so loose that they don't work anymore. So imagine that the elastic that's tied around your waist, it used to get you to the edge of the circle at this point, but because it's loosened off now, you've got a bigger comfort zone. You're able to take on more and you're able to push through it. So now your circle that you can expand through has gotten far greater. So the whole point is that at the moment that you feel a bit of resistance, sometimes it might come from your colleagues, sometimes it might come from your students. That may well be an indication that, hey, maybe I'm on the right track and everyone else is feeling that discomfort with me and they're trying to keep me safe. So it's perfectly okay to play it safe, but for you to be a great teacher, you need to go beyond your comfort zone. Another way to look at this is that we tend to follow the road that is most comfortable. So if you think of going for a bushwalk and there's a path, you'll probably follow the path that's already there. But at some point, someone had to create that path. And for you to go and see something that is different to that path, you need to go and, get your machete out and start hacking into the bushes and the weeds and so on so that you can make a brand new path to see what's over there. What if the path is always taking you in this direction, but what you really want is over here? So what you may well need to do is to be understanding that it's not always the road that's most comfortable. And if we understand that in order to grow, it's going to cause a bit of discomfort, have a go at walking a different path, try something different. Even though you know you can do something really well in class, try it a different way and see what happens. I mentioned this in the previous video. We have so many teachers that are just waiting for retirement to start so they can start their life purely because it's comfortable. They kind of work to a point where they're nice and comfortable. It's almost like they've got the lounge and they're sitting there and they've got the soft drink and they've got their chips and that's it. And not that there's anything wrong with that. And if that's what you want, by all means, go ahead and rock on and do that. My observations are, though, that to reach fulfillment and to reach happiness, or not even to reach happiness, to be happy and to be fulfilled, you need to be growing, because if you're either ripe and rotting away, or you're green and growing. So choose to be green and growing. And if you find yourself being comfortable, that's okay. And there's nothing wrong, again, with being comfortable. But be aware of when you're stopping yourself from dreaming purely because it's comfortable. Be aware of when you're stopping yourself from trying new things, from taking risks because it's comfortable. Again, if we want our students to do those things, if we want them to try different things, if we want them to do something different, if we want them to accept feedback, a lot of these things are things that feel uncomfortable. How can we expect that from our students if we're not doing it ourselves? So with regards to comfort zone, be aware that comfort zone is there because it keeps us safe. But you know what? In order to try new things, you have to push through. And when you feel that resistance, understand that that's exactly where you need to be. Push through it. When you're walking the path and you think, I wonder what's on the other journey, have a go. Build your own path. You might find that that's exactly where the greatness of a teacher that's in you lies. Come back to watch video number 4, where we're going to talk all about our universal fears and the reasons that we stay well inside our comfort zone. Thanks for watching.